5th of our Torah, so at least you can get something for showing up. This is Miketz. And the story of Miketz, Yosef is, we last left Yosef last week. He's in the prison. He asked the cupbearer to help him, and the cupbearer forgot about him for 2 years. Like, wait a minute, this guy got you out of prison. You don't remember him? This teaches an important lesson about a lot of people. They're concerned about themselves. They don't care about themselves. Plus, the cupbearer doesn't like Yosef for one reason. Yosef's Jewish. Because when Yosef tells him, he asks, well, who are you? And he says, I'm a Hebrew from the land of the Hebrews. That's a strange answer. But, and that identifies him as Jewish. And the cupbearer only cares about being in good with Paro. He doesn't care about anything else. The important thing here to remember is that this is a lesson to us as Jews. We might have a lot of friends who want to help us, but remember they're doing it for their reasons. They're not coming out to help us because it's the right thing to do. There's a few people who do that, but mostly it's for their own particular reasons. And we always have to remember that. Jean Kirkpatrick was the U.S. ambassador to the UN under President Ronald Reagan. One of them. And she was in Israel, and in Israel they asked her, "What do we have to do to get the world to like us?" And her reply was, "Commit suicide. But I don't recommend it. There's no future in committing suicide. But you don't go for the love of the world. You'll never get it. But the respect you will get. Do what you have to do, and they will respect you for what you do." And that is an important lesson. She said in those few words is an important lesson to us. Yosef had to have the self-respect that he had to realize everything was from God. And the cupbearer, when he needed Yosef to be in good with Paro, suddenly remembered Yosef. And as we know, starting with Parshat Shemot, with the beginning of the book of Exodus, Paro, it says, a new Paro got on the throne who did not remember Yosef. Now, there's a whole debate among the commentators whether this was a new Paro or whether this was the Paro who wanted to take advantage of the Jews, and therefore he was new in that he forgot about what Egypt owed the Jews, what Egypt owed Joseph. And it's no accident that this week's Parsha also coincides with Hanukkah, because the story of Hanukkah is with the Jews getting up, doing what had to be done for a spiritual reawakening. And that's very important. Yosef had to become spiritually aware of the situation that he was in, and that it was all the hand of God. The Hashmonaim became aware that the war they were fighting was a holy war, fighting for Yiddishkeit, the fundamentals. And remember, the story of the War of Hanukkah is not against the Greeks. If you read the Hebrew, it's very careful. It says the Mit Yavnim. If it was against the Greek, it would have said the Yivanim. If you look at the liturgy, we're fighting against the Mit Yavnim, the assimilationists, the Jews who want to be Greek. And that's what the fight was really about. It was about whether or not Judaism will continue or will turn into Greeks. And it's the same thing that Yosef was facing. So he had to be mature enough after his years in the prison to know that I'm going to go in there as a Jew. And I will not compromise on what being Jewish means. And that's why Miketz coincides with Hanukkah, among other reasons. Something to think about.